Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video. This is my Raw review for the 4th of January 2016. This is my thoughts and opinions on Monday Night Raw this week. It's my first review of Raw of 2016, so I hope you guys are really going to enjoy it. I think Raw this week was pretty good, a hell of a lot better than last week's Monday Night Raw. What did you guys think? This Raw review works really well if you guys get in the comment section and tell me your thoughts as well, because I really want to know what you guys thought of Raw this week. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. We're going to start our way at the start of Monday Night Raw and work our way through to the main event, so you guys get my opinions on every single thing this week. Let's kick things off with the opening segment, which was Roman Reigns confronting Stephanie McMahon. So Monday Night Raw kicked off with Stephanie McMahon's music hitting and her walking to the ring, and when she was walking to the ring, Roman Reigns' music started playing and he entered during Stephanie's entrance. Pretty cool thing to see. Thankfully, this segment didn't go on for way too long. Usually, when they open a segment with Stephanie McMahon talking or Vince McMahon talking, it usually goes on for 20-25 minutes, but thankfully, this only lasted 10 minutes, which is great because we want to see wrestling. It's a wrestling show. Enough of the talking. And that's fine, because there was a hell of a lot of wrestling on tonight's show, not a lot of talking, which is absolutely fantastic. So it was great that this segment didn't bore on, didn't go on for ages, and it worked really well. It built the excitement for the main event. It really built the anticipation up for the main event. You wanted to watch the end of Raw to see what happened in the main event, and that was the whole purpose of this segment. They were building up the excitement, making you want to watch it, because you didn't know where it was going to go, what was going to happen, and that was the whole point of this segment, and it really worked. Roman Reigns said he was going to send Vince McMahon to the hospital. That's exactly what happened in the main event. We'll get onto that later on in the show, but it really built the excitement. I wanted to watch the main event. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I thought this segment really worked. Thankfully, Roman Reigns didn't talk for ages. There was no tater tots or any of that bullshit. He got right to the point. He spoke with confidence, which he normally doesn't manage to do, but his lines were good, and it worked. And I think it was a really good segment to open the show, and thankfully, it didn't go on for too long, so that was absolutely fine. What I thought was probably the best match of the night was Kevin Owens against Neville. Brilliant. This was the match we deserved on last week's Raw, when on last week's Raw it ended up with a roll-up, and we were really disappointed, but thankfully we got the match again, and it went on for a good 10 or 15 minutes. What a way to start Monday Night Raw. This was the best match they could have had to kick off Monday Night Raw. It was absolutely fantastic. Neville, so many great moves in this match. He did like a 450 splash onto the outside from the apron onto Kevin Owens. That was freaking insane. He did I forgot what the name of the move is. Oh, a shooting star press onto the outside onto a standing Kevin Owens. There was a running cannonball by Kevin Owens where Neville was upside down. That was absolutely insane. There were so many great moves in this match, and everybody looked strong. Everybody was put over. Neville lost the match, but he probably looked better out of the two. He was absolutely fantastic in this match, so he looked great in defeat. Kevin Owens carries on his dominance by defeating Neville here. He gets his payback on Neville as well, because Neville got the roll-up last week, so both guys looking great. Neville looked good in defeat, and Kevin Owens got the win. And then, even Dean Ambrose looked great because he attacked Kevin Owens after the match and stood tall over Kevin Owens. So Dean Ambrose got his payback as well from last week. So really, if you look at it, all three guys were put over really well. Neville looked good in this match, but he lost. Kevin Owens won his match, which is good for him. And then Dean Ambrose attacked Kevin Owens and got himself over as well. So it was a really good segment, a really good match to start the show. Really liked it. I want to see it again because this was absolutely awesome. We're then going to move on to Titus O'Neil against Stardust. Not too shabby. It wasn't that bad. It was an okay match. Thankfully, they're not dragging this feud out until the Royal Rumble, I don't think, because I don't want to see this on a pay-per-view. It was an okay match. It did its purpose. It was building the sort of the end of Stardust, because he's lost against Titus O'Neil here, so maybe, hopefully, he starts to turn back to Cody Rhodes and maybe starts to think about losing the Stardust gimmick with this loss here, and hopefully it's the start of the end for this Stardust gimmick. I think that's what they're sort of suggesting here with the loss here. Okay match. Titus O'Neil looked great. I think they could do a hell of a lot better with him. Hopefully Stardust becomes Cody Rhodes once again with this loss. Hopefully this starts his road to becoming Cody Rhodes, because I've really missed Cody Rhodes. This Stardust gimmick has been going on for way too long, and this match proved it. Titus O'Neil looked great, Stardust not so much. I really liked the part of the match when Titus O'Neil was in control. I think the pace really stepped up when he was in control of the match, but Stardust, too many rest holds, pretty boring. But it was an okay match. It served a good purpose, so it'll get a thumbs up from me, but hopefully we see Cody Rhodes in 2016, fingers crossed. The next match of the night was Becky Lynch against Charlotte, a match we deserved to see last week on Monday Night Raw. We got Sasha versus Becky last week, and it was awful. This week we got Becky Lynch against Charlotte. Brilliant. This match was really, really good. They got the result absolutely perfect as well. Becky Lynch going over. She should get a Divas Championship match against Charlotte now. And it was ultimate payback because Becky Lynch won with the roll-up here, just like how Charlotte won with the roll-up 2 months ago. Absolutely perfect match. Really enjoyed it. You can tell these two girls know exactly how each other works. Great chemistry. Really want to see them two fight for the championship as well. I'm really looking forward to it because this was the match we deserved last week between Sasha and Becky and we didn't get it. Great match. This was absolutely awesome. Want to see it again at the pay-per-view as well. I can't wait for that now. I wasn't too excited about a Becky Lynch and Charlotte feud, but now I've seen this match and what they can do, I think it's going to be great. Getting a bit bored of seeing Ric Flair at ringside and not doing too much. I think Charlotte should start going on her own now. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes down, but I think this match is really good. I want to see it again. The next match only lasted about 5 seconds. It was Ryback against Big Show. No idea why they decided to do this match again, because the match last week was absolutely awful. Thankfully, the Wyatt family interrupted. What I got from this segment was sort of them suggesting that Braun Strowman was stronger than Big Show and Ryback, and they feel like the Wyatt family feel like Braun Strowman's way better and has a much more is much more likely to win the Royal Rumble, or they could just be suggesting that the Wyatt family are more dominant than either Big Show or Ryback. Didn't really make much sense. That's all I really got from it. Thankfully, we didn't see Ryback against Big Show because we've seen them guys have a match between each other so many times before, so thankfully they didn't give us that, and thankfully the Wyatt family interrupted, but it didn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe they'll explain it on SmackDown or Raw next week, but yeah, the Wyatt family looking great at this moment in time, and I'm excited to see what they do with them in 2016 and at the Royal Rumble. The next match was the League of Nations against the Usos. Great match, really, really liked this. Overall, it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, but still an entertaining match, some good wrestling going on here. Really like the finish with the foot stomp from Del Rio, where he went from one end of the ring to the other end, and that looked absolutely painful. That would really, really hurt. That looks great. I think he should do that as his finisher compared to the one where he just does the foot stomp in the corner. That looked freaking awesome. That was absolutely great. Want to see that again because that was cool. But yeah, a meaningless match, but still a good good wrestling. The right team went over as well. Obviously, the League of Nations need to start building some kind of credibility. And a win over the two-time tag team they won tag team champions of the year 2015 and 2014. So the League of Nations winning over the Usos is going to put them over really well. They really need a win because they lack any kind of credibility at this point. So it's good that they went over. Interesting match, fun match, and I had no complaints with it whatsoever. The next match was Heath Slater and against Dolph Ziggler. This is the beginning of the end for Dolph Ziggler if he's losing against Heath Slater. Looks like they're building a team up of Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and Adam Rose. Who gives a shit? If you're in this team, then your wrestling career is pretty much over as well as Dolph Ziggler's is. This was the worst segment of the night. The promo after the match was absolutely awful as well. They're trying to look charismatic, completely failed. And the fact that Dolph Ziggler's losing here is absolutely embarrassing. He should be so much higher on the card. It is absolutely atrocious. So we're just going to ignore this segment and this match of the night because it was awful. The next segment was pretty cool. You had the New Day counting down to New Year. And then, halfway through the countdown, it went to Chris Jericho's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was absolutely awesome. And when Chris Jericho came out, I was really shocked about the things he said. He said Chris Jericho's 5 minutes here were way more entertaining than Monday Night Raw. He says the live events, the pay-per-views need a lot more. Really shocked he said that. That's pretty surprising that they'd actually admit to that. But it's cool to see Chris Jericho back. Little bit disappointing that he didn't actually have a match on Raw, but he's announced himself for the Rumble match, so that's something to look forward to. That should be really exciting, and I can't wait to see that. Obviously, he's not winning, but it should be great to see him in the Royal Rumble. The next match was the New Day against Kalisto and the Dudley Boys. The New Day go over here, which was fairly surprising considering they're the champions. I wouldn't really feel like they needed a win here. Kind of annoying that we're seeing the Dudley Boys against the New Day again. We've seen the New Day against the Dudley Boys so many times. And even Kalisto and Sin Cara against the New Day, we've seen that many, many times. It looks like the tag team division really needs a shake-up. I mean, I was saying the complete opposite six months ago. You had Sin Cara and Kalisto, you had the New Day. The tag team division was looking fresh, but now it's just drawn out and same old crap, really. I really didn't enjoy this match. The New Day win with the... is it the midnight hour, what they call it? Cool, but I wouldn't really have necessarily put over the New Day here. I would probably put over Kalisto, because it looks like Kalisto and Sin Cara are facing the New Day at the Royal Rumble. But yeah, we've seen this many times before, and it really didn't do anything for me. Thought it was kind of boring, which is pretty disappointing considering the kind of people you have in this match. Sin Cara was missing, which was surprising. I said in my Raw preview that apparently Sin Cara was back on the road, and there wasn't any severe injury which happened to him last week on Raw. It looked like he'd injured his arm on Raw last week, but apparently he was back, but he wasn't in this match, so maybe they're taking things easy, saving him for the Royal Rumble match. Who knows, guys, but this match was disappointing, especially considering the kind of people he had in it. You've got the Dudley Boys, you've got Kofi Kingston, Big E especially, who are great in the ring, and obviously Kalisto. It didn't deliver. Then at the end, the main event was pretty disappointing as well. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. Their match at TLC was great, but that was when you had all the toys, like the ladders, the chairs, everything like that. When you had a one-on-one match, wasn't so great. Now, the fact that you had Mr. McMahon as a special guest referee, really interesting, very entertaining, loved it, very funny how he was doing fast counts for Sheamus and slow counts for Roman Reigns. That was great. The ending to the match was awesome. Superman punched the Vince McMahon. What's that referee called? Scott Armstrong comes in and he helps Roman Reigns to his feet so Sheamus can bro kick him. Awesome, because then Roman Reigns Superman punched him as the referee as well. That was freaking insane. So Scott Armstrong's down as well. Then you have another referee come in. They don't mention his name here. Oh, John Cone comes in. He does the count for Roman Reigns after he speared Sheamus. Absolutely awesome. So Roman Reigns is still the champion. He needed this win because I still think he needs to prove himself if he's going to main event WrestleMania as well. And the Royal Rumble is going to be built all up about, well, now that the Royal Rumble match is going to be for Roman Reigns' title, the Royal Rumble is going to be all about Roman Reigns as well. So he's going to have to start building loads of momentum as he makes his way towards WrestleMania, because I'm still not convinced this guy can main event WrestleMania. So with the win over Sheamus is great. Thankfully, Sheamus didn't walk out as champion, because ever since he dropped the belt, he's looked absolutely atrocious. So he certainly isn't the guy to be your World Heavyweight Champion. So they made the right decision. This is going to get Roman Reigns even more over. He does all this crap, walks away, and doesn't say a single thing. He looks like an absolute badass here. Thankfully, he's still champion. The Royal Rumble's going to be great with the World Heavyweight Championship up in arms. Who's going to walk out as the Royal Rumble as the championship? Who knows? It's going to be absolutely entertaining as hell. Hope you guys enjoyed Raw this week. I thought it was pretty good. When I woke up this morning, I asked people how was Monday Night Raw, because at that point, I hadn't seen Monday Night Raw. And somebody, Wrestling for All, tweeted me and said that people are only saying Monday Night Raw was good because of the announcement of the World Heavyweight Championship being defended in the Royal Rumble. And I said, yeah, you make a fair point. But then when I watched Raw, there was actually some good substance to it. I actually really, really enjoyed it. And there were some good wrestling matches, some great wrestling matches, especially Neville against Owens in the Divas match. So overall, I think it was a good Monday Night Raw. Really excited for the Royal Rumble now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have in fact enjoyed this video. I'll give a Monday Night Raw this week a 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10. There you go, guys. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you have in fact enjoyed this video. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and the Extreme Moments video in the bottom left hand corner. Take care. Spike your hair.